Oh, Caitlin Clark, as always, is the story of the day. And today she is going what we like to refer to.
The last thing anyone would expect is for her to overshadow one of the most iconic racing events on the planet. Yet that is exactly what unfolded in a moment that completely rewrote modern sports attention. You need to grasp the scale of the scene itself. More than 300,000 high-energy racing fans filled the massive grandstands surrounding the legendary Brickyard, waiting for the thunder of engines and the intensity of the Indy 500. But instead of focusing solely on the world-class drivers who had dedicated their lives to mastering that circuit, the entire stadium erupted into a deafening wave of noise just for a passing glimpse of Caitlin Clark. Stepping out of the official pace car as the Grand Marshal of the Indy 500, she did not appear as a basketball player making a routine celebrity appearance. She carried herself like a global figure commanding an arena that had instantly shifted its attention toward her. Footage of her standing in the convertible, waving to a roaring crowd and acknowledging racing legends, spread across the internet within minutes, taking over social platforms, trending charts, and even bleeding into mainstream sports coverage worldwide. She appeared completely natural in that environment, smiling through flashing cameras and engaging effortlessly with the moment, as if global superstardom was something she had always lived with. The entire world locked onto that instant, framing it as a symbolic crossover moment where a women's basketball star had become one of the most recognizable figures in American sports culture, in a city traditionally defined by motorsports and football. On the surface, it looked like the perfect sports story, a clean rise from historic college dominance into mainstream professional stardom. It was the type of polished narrative sponsors dream of, signaling arrival at the highest level of cultural influence. But what those viral clips and carefully captured images did not show was the tension and pressure building just beneath that polished surface. The smiling broadcast version was only part of the picture, not the full reality. And to understand the weight of that viral Brickyard moment, you have to step back and see what situation she was actually entering as she made her way toward the Indiana Fever training environment. This was not a franchise simply adding a talented guard to an already stable system. It was an organization that had been stuck for years in the lowest tiers of the league. The reality is that the franchise had spent years sitting near the bottom of the standings, enduring long losing stretches and struggling to consistently fill even a small portion of its large arena on any given night. From that context, the front office did not simply select a rookie in the draft, they effectively brought in a transformative figure expected to reignite an entire organization almost immediately. The level of expectation placed on her was enormous, with resale ticket prices reportedly surging and merchandise demand spiking before she had even taken a single professional shot. Beyond basketball, she was positioned as the public face of a rapidly growing movement, appearing at major corporate events like the Indy 500, engaging with sponsors, and symbolically carrying a large share of the league's expanding commercial spotlight. Around the league and in the wider city economy, her presence coincided with a surge in revenue and attention, a phenomenon often referred to in discussions as Clarkonomics, adding even more weight to the expectations surrounding her arrival. At the same time, that rapid rise created tension within parts of the broader environment, as longtime players who had spent years in the league without comparable attention or financial growth saw a sudden shift in focus toward a new rookie star. This contrast highlighted a wider conversation about pay structures, overseas commitments during the off-season, and the historical financial limitations many players had faced while building the league from earlier stages. With new sponsorships, broadcast deals, and sold-out arenas arriving alongside her entry, perceptions naturally became divided, with some viewing it as overdue growth for the sport while others felt uneasy about how quickly the spotlight had shifted. That emotional undercurrent contributed to a more intense competitive atmosphere on the court, where physical play and heightened scrutiny became part of nearly every matchup. Certain games drew significant controversy, including high-profile incidents that sparked debate among fans and analysts regarding officiating consistency and player safety, leading to league reviews and adjustments after the fact. By the time these moments circulated widely online, the narrative had already expanded beyond basketball itself, blending performance, pressure, and public interpretation into one highly charged storyline. What remained consistent was the scale of attention surrounding every appearance she made, whether at major public events or on the court, and the way each moment seemed to amplify both admiration and criticism at the same time. The spotlight around Caitlin Clark has reached a level women's basketball has never experienced before. Every game, every foul, every reaction is magnified into a national conversation, turning the WNBA into a 24/7 media ecosystem where basketball and entertainment are now inseparable. With that attention has come intense debate about physicality, officiating, and how the league is adjusting to a rookie who changed the sport's visibility overnight. Some former players and analysts have publicly weighed in, arguing that Clark is being defended more physically than most rookies typically experience, while others push back, saying this is simply the natural adjustment to the professional level where every star is tested. That tension has become one of the defining storylines of the season. At the same time, the media environment around women's basketball has exploded. Every matchup involving Indiana draws massive ratings, and every rivalry is amplified through highlight clips, debate shows, and social media reactions. That level of attention has created both opportunity and pressure, not just for Clark, but for every player in the league. Inside the Indiana Fever organization, the challenge is equally complex. A young roster, a new system, and constant public scrutiny have forced the coaching staff to adapt in real time. Every rotation decision and every late-game adjustment is analyzed instantly by millions of fans, turning normal growing pains into national talking points. What's clear is that the WNBA is in a rare transition moment. The league is growing faster than ever before, but that growth comes with heightened expectations, heavier scrutiny, and constant debate about how the game should be played and covered. Caitlin Clark sits at the center of that transformation, not as part of a conspiracy, but as the most visible figure in a rapidly changing sports landscape. And the real question isn't about hidden agendas or secret conflicts. It's about sustainability, how a league, its players, and its new audience all adjust to a level of attention that has permanently changed the scale of women's basketball.